Hello and welcome to one more English lesson, right? As everybody knows, we are here on this moving on, on this continuation of this the escalation of tension in 1936 to 1938. Of course, we are studying here this First World War and a little bit of the Second World War and some of this of its consequences, right? I wish you like a very good lesson for everybody who is here today with me. Yeah, just enjoying this lesson and let's go. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Yeah, as all students know, yeah, we are following the book of this First World War and some of this its consequences, and we are gonna move on and hopefully today. Okay, so pay attention, especially on the pronunciation, on the understanding of the words, on the new vocabulary, and follow me. Okay, so welcome and let's go on. Right, as I always do, I'm gonna begin sharing the screen with you, right? And as you can see, I'm here today, right? Just to follow you. So just follow me, okay? And we begin, yeah. As you're gonna see, we have the title here, as I have already read, and then we have this subheading here, yeah, like this beginning, which is in the second half of the 1930s, Hitler started pushing for more and more territory for Germany. When we say pushing for more, it means that he was like trying to conquer more spaces, just he had already conquered, yeah, he had already gotten something, but he wanted more space, more territory. And then of course this is what a dictator do, right? So and then we have this subheading: in March 1936, Hitler sent troops into the Rhineland. Okay, so let's go on here. Okay, let's just give you a quickly glimpse. Yeah, like if you don't know exactly, you can analyze here. On page 44, we have the map of the Rhineland. Okay, so just don't forget to check it out, that map. Okay, let me see if I can get something for us guys. Okay, as you can see here in this picture, okay, we have this Rhineland. Okay, so this area here, as you can analyze, it's like in Germany side. Okay, so when we say that Hitler was sending troops to this area, which means that he was like in this blue area here on the map. Okay, just a friendly reminder. Okay, so coming back, right? And let's begin the reading here. Okay, so we have here 3 points, and as we can see, okay, so let's read that and let's understand what was the main idea here. The Rhineland was demilitarized. They take out troops, military force from there by the Treaty of Versailles. And why they did that? Because of the Treaty of Versailles. Yeah, one of the rules of the Treaty of Versailles was to take the troops out of there. Okay, no military force. While the League of Nations was busy with Italy's invasion of Abyssinia, because at the same time, yeah, like remember Mussolini, he was invading like Abyssinia, and as the League of Nations was busy with that, Hitler saw this situation as a chance, like to overturn this. To solve that problem. What problem? The militarization of this of Germany. Okay, so they say, okay, so as they are busy with that, so maybe they will not have time to be like watching us, like if we were really following the rule or not. So Hitler used that moment to reorganize his military force. Okay, so this is basically what we have here in this first one. And then we have the number 2, yeah, which is this one. The USSR, yeah, as we know, is the communist area, right? Russia, that kind of stuff. And France had recently made a treaty agreeing to help each other if they were attacked. It was meant to protect them from Germany, because Germany, yeah, was supposedly a threat for them. So they united forces. The USSR and France. And Hitler claimed, yeah, Hitler said that this threatened Germany. That this union between France and the USSR was like something bad for the enemy. It was like a threat, Remember the meaning of threat? Threat means ameaça, okay? So he should be allowed to put troops on Germany's borders, including in the Rhineland. I mean, so he used an excuse, yeah, like that. Okay, so if you guys are uniting force, so I think it's more than fair that I also get myself protection. This is what Hitler said. Okay, so and we know, of course, maybe he really wanted to do that. You know, like maybe it was a real information, but of course he used that also as an excuse to make his military force stronger day by day and disrespecting the Treaty of Versailles and many things else, right? So, and then we have the number 3, right, and which is this one now. Hitler thought Britain wouldn't get involved, but he wasn't sure about France. You know, like he thought like, okay, maybe Britain will not like interfere in this situation that we are having. But about France, Hitler, he didn't know exactly for sure. No, so he was a little bit in doubt about that. So maybe he used that as one possible reason to to work on his military force. And number 4, which is the last point from this area here, yeah, the German forces had orders to pull out immediately if the French army moved in. Okay, to pull out, I mean, do you know, if you push, you go this, and if you pull, you go like that. Okay, so if they had orders to pull out immediately, I mean, if the French army, you know, like they tried to invade, to try to move in, like they should do something. Okay, so one thing that I'm gonna ask you guys to do is to pull out immediately. Please, can you guys check what is the meaning of that? I mean, when they say that the German forces they were intending to pull out if something happened, so it means that they were going to, I mean, to go back, to return, to run away, to flee, or it means that they would move on, they would go against, you know, like they would go to the fight. So what is the meaning of pull out here in this point? So check it out that for me and tell me what you understand about that. Okay, this is homework for sure. And continuing the reading, but France was in the middle of an election campaign, so no one was willing to start a war with Germany, and the League of Nations, including Britain, was angry but took no action. I mean, like everybody was angry with Hitler and his actions, but nobody really did anything. Okay, so that's maybe one of the reasons that, I mean, nothing really happened. Okay, so and as we can analyze here, yeah, we have this little comment down, like I'm gonna just disappear my face a little bit just to make you be able to see, okay, which is this blue line here, as I mean this blue box. So there is a comment and analysis here. Okay, so just follow me. This was a gamble. Gamble is when you're like is by lucky, é pela sorte, ok? This was a gamble. Então foi ele arriscou, né? Ele jogou, ele fez um jogo de sorte. Será que vai? Será que não vai? Okay, so that's why we're gonna continue the reading. Okay, so Hitler risked a war that he wasn't ready for, but appeasement and the French election worked in his favor. Okay, so I mean, you know, like he kind of a threat the other countries. Okay, so let's do that. Let's be ready for a war, but in reality, he wasn't really ready for that. When we say he wasn't ready, it means if really the war started at that time, probably he would lose the war. No, you know, he had no enough military force to keep the war, you know, like to keep fighting. So he, that's why we call it like it was like a gamble. Right? Fez uma aposta, foi, no? So he risked that. But I mean, somehow he for him the risk was good because I mean the other countries, they did nothing about it. Okay, so that's a very good very interesting point about this part. So going down a little bit, okay, we're gonna move on in this second part of the reading, so just follow me here, right, and let it go. Okay, so going down below, we have this second part, which is Hitler started making pacts with Mussolini. Remember when we say making pacts? Yeah, we mean that he was like, like, okay, so let's get some partners, let's do something like that, and let's analyze it. Okay, so we have the number one, the first information here. In 1935, Mussolini had successfully invaded Abyssinia. This made him more confident in following foreign policy. Remember that when we say foreign, this word means like international policy. And policy is like some rules, some agreements, like some of the specifications of international dealing with people, okay? That would put Italy in a more powerful position in Europe. And Hitler invited Mussolini to visit Germany and showed off Germany's military strength. Mussolini decided to side with Hitler. When we show off, this is a very, very good word here, okay? I mean, to understand, of course, yeah, when we show off, he said, okay, so I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove to you, yeah, that what I have is good. When you show off, it means you show yourself. Yeah, so I am the best, and then this is what I have, so this is show off. Okay, for example, I can give you a very simple example to you. Let's suppose that I buy a new iPhone, okay, and then I say, okay, so I have this new version of iPhone. It's only me that have that, and nobody else has this iPhone specifically, so I am the best one, so I will show off myself. So I get my iPhone, and then I start walking around, like, hey, you see, this is my new one. I mean, is it really necessary? No, but I want to show to other people that I have this power. So as Hitler was really, improving, really investing in his military force, he wanted to show Mussolini that he was the guy, and of course, probably he had like more reasons, not only was to show off, but also maybe to get like partnership, yeah, because for him it was interesting. So coming back. And number two, Mussolini and Hitler agreed the Rome-Berlin Axis in 1936, which officially linked the two countries. So this Rome-Berlin Axis means like they became partners, like they become friends here. They made this alliance, this union, okay? And in 1937, Italy joined Japan and Germany in the Comintern Pact, which was the meaning of this actually, we have some ways to say that, okay? Some people say anti, some people say anti, but I'm gonna check it out that for you, okay? Which was against communism, specifically the USSR. So you see how interesting that Germany, Italy, and Japan, they kind of united themselves, like to fight against the Communist Party. So when we see that nowadays, like we can have this fake, this illusion belief that, if they were fighting the Communist Party, the communist countries, so maybe they were good. But no, they were something else, they were what we called fascism, okay, fascist countries. That we are the power, we are the rulers of the world, and we are the boss, and we command everything. That was their idea. It was not only, okay, let's fight communists because communism is something bad, it's bad for people, so let's save the world. No, the idea was not that. Like maybe they had that idea, like, okay, so let's save the world, but not because we want to give freedom to the people, but because we want to control everything. That was the idea, and believe me, fascism and communism both are evil things, okay? That's for sure. Absolutely. If you don't know exactly what is that, if you don't understand very much, check it out. Study, like what is communism and what is fascism, okay? And make sure that you study that properly, because nowadays some people call, some government, some people fascists, and actually they are not, you have to make sure that you know exactly what is this and who really is a fascist, okay? Because this is very important, to not label the wrong person, okay? So, and coming back to today's study here, as you can see, and number three, the partnership escalated the international tensions in Europe. Escalated means it made it bigger, like the tensions got bigger. The problem got worse, okay? And in Europe, as Germany and Italy became increasingly detached from the other European powers. If we attach something, explanation to you, okay? If we attach, we put it together. If we detach, we separate it. This is the definition of the thing here, okay? So this is one of the things that we have to understand. So, I mean, why we say that? Because they detached, because they started like to be a little bit apart from the other European countries. Why this caused some problem? Because basically, like, as they separated, I mean, they didn't work together anymore, okay? And let's analyze here a short information, right? So check it out then. This blue part, I'm gonna go up a little just for you to not, yeah, to not be a problem like my head on here. Okay, so follow me. Hitler and Mussolini were still in competition, even though they were working as partners, okay, and with one another when it came to power in Europe. So writing about the Rome-Berlin axis, historian A.J.P. Taylor says, okay, so this historian guy, he said, Hitler intended to make Germany the leading power in Europe, with Italy as, at best, at the best possibility, a junior partner, okay? Neither was eager to promote the ambitions of the other. Each planned to exploit the other's challenge to the Western powers in order to extract concessions for himself. Okay, again, each planned to exploit. So please, exploit. What is this word here? Homework for you. What is the meaning of that sentence here, actually, right? Neither was eager to promote the ambitions of the other. Each planned to exploit the other's challenge to the Western powers in order to extract concessions for himself. So I want you students to translate it. Translate this to Portuguese for me to understand what is that, okay? So this is something, all right? So basically, but I mean, giving you a quick information, what we can understand from this part here is that, I mean, both, like nor Mussolini, nor Hitler, they weren't really friends, like they were working together just for interest. That was the only reason. And since they had conquered their goals, they have achieved their plans, yeah, so probably they would start fighting against each other. But so just translate that for me, okay? And then there is another sentence that we're gonna analyze here now, okay, which is the illustration and the some sentence that we have here, okay? And what is that? So check it out. I'm gonna take my face, okay, out of that just for you to see that, but follow me here. Okay, so this is an illustration from an Italian magazine in 1937. Hitler and Mussolini are depicted as strong military leaders, okay? Depicted, they are shown, yeah, they are described as we can see here we have a Mussolini and here we have a Hitler and the Nazi flags, okay? So of course, especially because of their uniforms, right, we can see that it shows some like military force, right, like strong military leaders, and this was the idea given at least up to here, okay? So this is something that we have in mind, okay? So Mussolini and Hitler, both, they were bad guys, okay? None of them were good, for sure, absolutely, okay? No, none of them was like really a good person, okay? So I mean, moving on, and then we have this last part, yeah, which is this in 1938, okay? Let me just get some highlights here, okay? So we begin with this subheading, which is in 1938, Hitler achieved, yeah, ele conseguiu, yeah, achieved Anschluss with Austria, okay? This Anschluss, and so what is that, right? What is this ANSCU? I mean, I don't even know how to pronounce that correctly, okay? It's probably Anschluss, something like that. So Let's read here. We have 6 topics and let's see if we understand that better. So number 1, Hitler wanted this Anschluss union with Austria. Okay, so as we can see, Anschluss here they describe as a union, okay, with Austria, because Austria had many similarities with Germany, including the language. Okay, so this was part of his plan to unite all German people in one right. Okay, and Anschluss would also allow Hitler to make use of Austria's armed forces and raw materials. Again, when we say raw materials, I mean like it's the first source, the primary force, ok? Né, a matéria-prima ali, né, a base, ok? Que se você pesquisar a palavra raw, né, somente raw no dicionário vai ser algo cru, né? Então a gente passa a ideia de que é algo, né, que está no início ali, é a matéria-prima, ok? So, again, Anschluss would also give permission to Hitler to use Austria's armed force. So, you know, it would make his armed forces stronger and also give him resources, sources, material, things to him to use, like and I mean get money and material for whatever he wanted to do. Okay, so of course there was an interest behind that, in this union with Austria. Okay, so moving on, and we have this second one here, right? Hitler encouraged Austrian Nazis to stage demonstrations and protests in favor of Anschluss. In February 1938, he demanded that an Austrian Nazi called Seyss-Inquart be made Minister of the Interior. So, as we can see here, Hitler didn't only want, but also he started interfering inside Austrian politics and also the government system, and also he had like some sympathizers, like some people that gave support to him inside Austria. As we can see here, that he even wanted to give influence the, I mean, like the choice, like to choose to select one minister, Minister of the Interior. So of course Hitler had his plans right here. And then number 3, again, why Austria? Because I mean there were a lot of German people living there, and also the culture and the language were like basically the same. Okay, number 3, the Austrian Chancellor Schöning hoped to prevent the Nazis from taking over, but Hitler threatened to invade if he didn't resign. And Schöning, that's a difficult name, right? Couldn't take the risk, and he and his cabinet resigned, except for Seyss-Inquart, who became chancellor and invited the German army to Austria to restore order. Okay, so what we have learned here, that I mean, at least in the beginning, like the leaders, like the chancellor of Austria, he was opposed to Hitler, right? They were not really friends, and they didn't have like plans to work together. But Hitler threatened, Hitler threatened to invade and to probably kill him, and then of course, if he didn't resign. And teacher, what is the meaning of that word? What means resign, right? So when you resign to something, means you gave up. For example, I am your teacher, and if I resign, means I say, okay, so I will not be able to continue this work, so I will stop and put someone else in my place. This is the meaning of the word resign. Okay, so this is what we can learn here, right? And then moving on, right? And the next one, and after that here, so the official prime minister resigned, and then the other one got the power and invited the Germans. So as by the reading we can understand here that I'm gonna just make my face disappear just to make it easy for you to read. Okay, so okay, very good. So to restore order, right? And when we say restore order, means that the other prime minister supported Hitler. So that's why, because we have the country probably was divided between people that gave support to Hitler and people that didn't give support. So but in the end, like Hitler, he did, right? He he got what he wanted. He got someone that supported him to get the power of Austria, right? Very good. So, and then number 4 here. And on 12th of March 1938, Hitler invaded Austria to proclaim the Greater German Reich. Yeah, I mean to unite, to attach Austria to Germany. So they became only one power under the rule of Hitler. Okay, so as we know the story, right? Hitler was like a very, oh my God, right? He was really, how can I say? He was a really powerful person. And then number 5, following its policy of appeasement. Remember that this word appeasement means make peace. Yeah, bring peace to the thing. Britain didn't stop him. So the whole French government had resigned 2 days before the German invasion. Again, the whole French government had resigned. Again, we have already learned what is the meaning of resign. Yeah, 2 days before the German invasion. So France was in no state to intervene either, because France was really in a really bad situation when we talk about government. I mean, the whole government, everybody had resigned, everybody gave up of the power. France was in a really difficult government situation, you know, like no order. They were trying to restore order, in France. So they had no mind and no way to go for a war, to try to do something against Hitler at that specific moment, right? So as you see, it seems like everything happened. It seems like that all the events that were happening at that time really helped. It was good for Hitler because it helped him to conquer power, right? And so this is the number 5, right? I mean, these are just some of the reasons, right, that we can learn here what happened during the history, that helped actually Hitler to got to power, right? And moving on, we have this number 6 and the last one. In April, a referendum. Again, referendum is when there is like a vote and the population goes to the streets to choose something, was held. I mean, so this kind of a voting moment happened, and Austrians voted overwhelmingly, I mean the majority, more than 90%, in favor of the Anschluss. But the vote was rigged by the Nazis. Okay, again, there was a vote, and it was overwhelmingly in favor of this, how can I say that, of this Anschluss. And remember, what was that? Yeah, it was the union. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they voted to, okay, so let's work together, but something happened, right? So what is the meaning of this rigged by the Nazis? Okay, so what does that mean exactly? I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, so when you rig something, okay, it means that you influence it, in a not honest way. Okay, so what it means that, okay, the result was like the majority voted to the union of the 2 countries, but there was some what words can I use for that? Was like some kind of a fraud, cheat, dishonest way, like it was. The referendum is when people go there and everybody votes, the whole country votes to choose something. Yeah, so, and here it was, I mean, even though they voted, but it seems that the Nazi, right, I mean the German people, they made it to get the result that they wanted, so they, I don't know, they faked the result, like they cheated, eles trapacearam, roubaram, okay? So of course it was not real referendum. Okay, again, if you didn't get exactly what is the meaning of referendum, again, it's like when we have this vote, we have a topic and then we ask to the population, come and vote to choose something. It's like an election. But if you if you still don't understand perfectly, you can check it out. You can, like just Google a little bit of that, and then we can have a lot of information regarding that. Okay, so this is basically this beginning right here of this this escalation of tension, how the problem started to really, grow, to increase. The tension is really getting worse day by day. Okay, so now, of course, as we always do, let's go to the homework part, right? Like the exercises that we have to do to work on that. So follow me. Okay, as we can see here, we have the exercises, and let's go. I'm gonna give you the guidance, like what you guys have to do. So again, don't forget, if you didn't understand something, if you get some doubts, go back to the lesson, like listen again, watch again, read more carefully your book, so that we can really make a very good answer. So the activities on this page are about Hitler's increasingly aggressive foreign policy and its significance. Okay, so it means what was the importance of this aggression that Hitler was going to do, right? So knowledge and understanding, and then here, as we can see, we have these 3 questions, and after we have this 4th one, which normally we have to fill this table here. So question number 1, what reason did Hitler give for sending troops into the Rhineland? Okay, so what was the excuse that he used? Okay, so we're gonna send troops there because of what? That's number 1. And why was the decision to send troops into the Rhineland a gamble for Hitler? Explain your answer, giving as much detail as possible. Okay, again, if you don't remember what is gamble, I explained to you that in today's lesson, right? So go back a little, listen that again. Okay, so that's the first one, why it was a gamble. And second one, give details, give information from the text that proves that you know what is the meaning of gamble, and also you can answer this question. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, explain why Hitler wanted to unify, to put together, to unite on Germany and Austria. And then also we had the name of that. Okay, so I'm so sorry for the pronunciation of the German name. I even forgot what was the name, but I would try to get the right pronunciation, send you that. And so explain why he wanted to unite that. Okay, again, we have all the information on the text that we studied today. And number 4, copy and complete the table below, explaining why Hitler's actions in the Rhineland and Austria went unchallenged. There was no opposition to him, like he decided to do something, he did, and no one did nothing to stop him. And why it happened, why like France and Britain, why they didn't do any action against Hitler? There is a reason for that. There were some reasons actually for that. So go there, get that, and answer here. Number 1, for example, the place that the situation happened in the Rhineland and Austria, and why Hitler's actions went unchallenged. There was no challenge for him. Why? So get that for me. And going down here below, okay, and we have this 5. The flow chart below shows the stages. Again, the flow chart is this chart here, okay? Flow because it goes in a flow, like that. Sorry for that terrible explanation, right? So, but the flow chart below shows the stages in the German Anschluss with Austria. Again, it was the union, right? So copy and complete the flow chart by adding information about the actions taken by each person at each stage. So for example, in the beginning of this Anschluss action, the beginning of this process, what was Hitler's actions? For example, we have here Skönings action, Sees Inquart's action, and Hitler's actions. Okay, so Skönings, I think that's how to pronounce the name, and Sees Inquart's and Hitler. We have 3 different people, and they took some actions to this, to this endless process. Each person did something, they had their importance on this process. So what action did each Skunstings, seizing quartz, and Hitler, which each person did. So go there, check it out what each person did, and then write down each name here, okay? And of course, in the beginning, what was the first actions from Hitler? Okay, so just make it very, 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 in a very good way, okay? So this is what I expect from a new student. And number number 6, actually, yeah, we have a little bit more questions. What happened in the April 1938 referendum in Austria? So there was a referendum. Again, I just explained that to you, and something happened to that, right? Something not good actually, but something happened. So explain what happened there. Yeah, we read that there was some what can I say? Some interesting, let's call it interesting, not in a good way, but just like something that it's a little bit strange, right? In the result of this referendum. So go there and write it for me, okay? And we have this last part here, which is thinking historically, which is the last part of this study, right? So using the information on page 46 and 48, describe how the relationship between Hitler and Mussolini changed between 35 and 37, and refer to the factors below in your answer. Again, we remember that in the beginning they were not friends, they were kind of enemies, not real official enemies, but I mean they didn't have any business. Yeah, like for example in the Stresa conference, and then after we had the invasion of Abyssinia. And if I'm not wrong, I think even when they had that invasion of Abyssinia, I think Germany, I mean, they said something against that invasion, right? And then after we had the Rome-Berlin Axis, and then Anti-Comintern Pact, and the competition with each other. I mean, Mussolini and Hitler's competition. They start competing against each other. So in each of these situations, here, Stresa Conference, invasion of Abyssinia, Rome-Berlin Axis, Anti-Comintern Pact, and competition with each other, they had like a way, yeah, they had like some point of view, they had a way to act against, right? So how was that? They were friends, they were not friends in each situation. So give me details of each of these situations here, okay? And number 2, just following here, as you guys can see here, explain how the changes in the relationship between Hitler and Mussolini affected international tensions. Again, we say changes because in some periods they were friends and some other they weren't. So, and each of these situations had some effect, you know, especially in everything that was happening, like with the other countries and anything else. So again, go to the story, go to the book, read that carefully, answer that for me. Of course, I want everything written on your notebook, okay? And also feel free, if you have some comments to make, if you want to record your voice, feel free to do that, okay? So basically, this is the homework, okay? And then we have this just final reading here. I like to read that actually, right? So Hitler was a difficult man to say no to. Yeah, I mean, he was like a spoiled boy, right? So question 3 in the exam is about the causes and consequences of a crisis on increase in tension. Sorry, or increase in tension. So make sure you know why key events happen and how they affected international tensions. So because, you know, like make sure that you know the right information. Again, you don't have only the book to check these informations. You also have a Google, YouTube, you know, like you have a lot of sources, you have a lot of things to go to, you know, like to get better information. Okay, so basically this is today's lesson. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed that. Do your best, focus on, because this is a very, very interesting topic, and of course it's very important to know as well, because as far as I know, is by learning the past that we can make better decisions for the future, right? So thanks a lot. See you guys in the next lesson. Thanks and take care. Bye bye guys, have a good time.